to Canon City Comic Club, an episodic examination of the most memorable storylines in comic books. I'm your host, Tristan Cooper, and today I've assembled a crack team of criminals to read a comic book, including Andrew Bridgman. Hello.
Hey, Tristan. It's me. It's Andrew Bridgman. I'm like, what if Batman was a slightly different color?
Mm-hmm.
That's my costume.
I've always thought that about you.
Yeah.
Carolyn Page, also here. Hello.
Yes, hello. I'm also here. I have had a lot of surgeries to dislocate all my joints and make new joints. And I can fit into a toilet.
Wow.
I can fit into a locker. I can fit under any table. Under the bed. Up in a duct.
It's very interesting that you mentioned that. Coincidentally, we have
a lot of specifics in there.
It's very specific. And we have a comic book just for you. It's called Secret Six.
Really?
Written by Gail Simone.
ElfQuest.
I wish this was fucking ElfQuest.
We did ElfQuest.
What if we did more ElfQuest?
Yeah. What if we did only ElfQuest?
What if this was the ElfQuest show?
This is ElfQuest with a Catman.
Kind of. Actually, you're right. Never mind. There's a lot of elves in here, I've noticed.
This is Secret Six by Gail Simone. This is the start of like a pretty long run. We're starting with the first volume, which is actually 2 volumes, and I apologize because there's a lot in here.
So long.
I remember reading this. I remember reading the second graphic novel in this first and being kind of lost and feeling like, wait, what happened? So I eventually went back and read the first one and got a little bit of context for that, which helped me, which is why I chose for us to read this book, which is twice as long as anything we've read so far. And I do apologize. I do think this book has a lot of twists and turns, and we could have easily filled a show with just one of them. But this is your punishment for the crimes that you have done.
I keep suggesting MODOK, and it's like 4 issues. And the man has a very large head.
We can get there.
Okay, all right.
It'll be your own ElfQuest.
Oh my god, it is kind of like ElfQuest, except there's a very large-headed baby man, and that's kind of it. Yeah, there's no elves.
Had either of you heard of this book whatsoever?
No.
Had either of you heard of anyone? There's Deadshot is in this comic.
Yeah, Will Smith.
Yes.
Had you heard of anyone else?
I'd heard of Deadshot. I'd heard of no one else.
I'd heard of Deadshot. I know Mad Hatter, who comes in later.
Yes, I know Mad Hatter from the classic Alice in Wonderland stories.
Well, he was in like Batman the Animated Series and stuff, and he's in the Arkham games.
Yeah. I'd also heard of Parademon.
I've heard of Parademons. I never heard of like the specific like Rogue one.
Yeah,
that was a new one to me.
Yeah,
I've
heard of Rogue One as well. Bane shows up in later comics as well. He's part of the Six. He's
Vandal Savage is familiar.
Yeah,
Lex Luthor. I know that guy.
Yep. Or do you?
We
should
I do.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. See,
I'm already exhausted by this story.
Speaking of exhausting, we should get into continuity catch-up.
Continuity mustard.
Provide some background.
She's been waiting so long to say that.
A comic that some people have asked us to maybe tackle has been Identity Crisis, which serves as the background for Secret Six. And like Identity Crisis is like this controversial kind of like staple of comics by this point. It's by Brad Meltzer, and I want to Rags Morales, I think, also on the art on that. And it's the story basically what it boils down to is Sue Dibney, who is a superhero who's not seen often since this comic, was sexually assaulted and then killed later by Dr. Light, and then the heroes mind wiped Dr. Light and some other villains, it turns out. And the villains are mad about it, and we're supposed to feel like
villains get mind wiped all the time.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Everyone gets mind wiped all the time.
Like a lot of the villains in Secret Six, which is a villain-centric book akin to Suicide Squad, a lot of the villains are still very mad about that. They hold a big grudge, and I'm just like, you've killed people.
Yeah, you killed a lot of people. How big is this mind wipe, by the way? Like, was it like their whole lives, or was it like the last couple days?
Specific for Dr. Light, they kind of like changed his personality.
He probably had a bad personality.
He had a terrible personality.
This is an improvement.
Yeah, this seems fine.
They should have shot him into the sun. He got off lucky.
Can't remember if I know the poster for Identity Crisis or not. I might be thinking of Final Crisis. Final Crisis had a cool poster.
Final Crisis, that's Alex Ross. Very cool.
Very cool.
This
poster.
one's a little bit
Very
Go
different.
check out posters.
Yeah, welcome to Poster Talk.
Posters are good. They're easier to read than comics. They're
That's
like comics
true.
but shorter.
That's true.
Very true. Very true.
Yep.
But we're not doing that.
Oh.
We are doing this. Before we get into the meat, I do want to give some backstory on Catman, who is real.
No.
Yes.
Catman is real. He's decades and decades old.
Ugh.
He's from the Silver Age of comics, and as Andrew alluded to earlier, he's basically a different colored Batman.
He's Mustard Batman.
He's
Mustard
a mustard
Batman. He's Mustard Batman. He's got the Monster Energy drink symbol on his
yeah,
chest.
that's true. What flavor is that, you think?
Mustard.
Mustard monster.
Monster Energy mustard.
It's got extra carbs in there.
Oh my god. When you just want to get totally just jazzed and you're eating a hot dog.
I like that he's got the traditional mustard yellow and also the kind of the Dijon.
Oh yeah.
Highlights.
Yeah, he's
nice
all
dark
different
brown.
kinds of mustard.
Mhm.
He's
Yeah.
like the French is yellow mustard.
Yeah.
And Grey Poupon.
Yes, exactly.
Is
Grey
that
Poupon is
commented
a good one.
on in his other comics that he just has the same costume as Batman?
Well, he's one letter off.
And
You know
then
what I
his
mean?
name is
Yeah.
Catman?
Right.
yeah.
Yes.
It's crazy.
But
It's
is Batman
crazy to me
upset?
that he exists.
Well, that's the whole thing is
Is
that
Batman
he's-
like, hey man, don't stop doing that. And then there's a guy who's doing scat and he's like Scatman now. He's like, come on, now look what you've done. Now all these mans are coming out.
it's minute 3 and you're on to the Scatman jokes. Which,
Like scat.
yeah.
not
no,
like the
I
other-
got it.
I don't know what you think I say.
But so what's interesting to me is that
Oh, God.
this book tries
We're
so
off to a
hard to
great start.
bring Catman back from Silver Age obscurity.
Sure.
Basically, he's a joke.
Yeah.
You know, he's like one of the
No shit.
the goof back when Superman could shoot little Superman out of his fingers. He would
The
get
good-
new
the good old
powers every
days.
week. Batman would have rainbow colored outfits for every day of the week just to mess
Except
with people.
probably not mustard though. He probably didn't have mustard ready to go.
right,
And
exactly.
that's why this guy comes in.
And
And-
now we found the one thing that Andrew's gonna fixate on the
Yeah,
entire show.
probably.
Yeah. Well, we should
Tristan's so
we should
excited.
just get into the book breakdown because I feel like we're going to be talking a lot about Catman.
We got a
and
lot of book
what
to
Catman
cover.
is going up.
I got
with.
a lot to say about Catman.
I will say this is right down the middle for me.
Yeah.
Perfect. I love villains who have to become kind of heroic or
Uh-huh.
become protagonists. I love writers bringing back weird old characters and
Mhm.
deciding, well, I'm gonna try to go in depth with this character and flesh them out a bit.
What's his name from the Black Bolt we did a while ago? Absorbing Man.
Yeah, Observant Crusher
Yeah.
Creel.
Crusher
I love
Creel,
that. I love that. It's my favorite.
I wish this was an Inhumans comic.
Well, as we established, that was a Crusher Creel comic,
Yeah.
not.
I
an
wish
Inhumans
this was a
comic.
Crusher Creel comic.
So this was there are elements of it that were not my favorite, but
Mhm.
overall, I just like villains
Mhm.
being good guys. I like it. It's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm very biased.
So
I'm
okay.
just putting that out there. Carolyn and I think are going to be at odds in this one.
Sure.
The Elf Quest Alliance is
Sure.
done.
Broken.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
The couch is divided.
He was going
Like-
to tell you his soul name, and now he won't. how it is?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, but I think she would kind of just know it.
Okay,
I think
see.
is that
I
how it
see.
works?
Yeah, we haven't been recognized, which is good because
I'm
you're
married. I got a kid. You've
Is
got a
that-
long-term
oh.
partner.
Yeah,
It probably wouldn't go.
probably not.
It'd be a problem.
Probably
Okay.
not. Well, maybe next week.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
Okay, little. Stay
Little
tuned.
tension now. A little ooh,
No,
drama.
yeah.
Maybe.
I love it.
Let's talk about this racist comic, though.
Hey, okay.
It's kind of racist.
It does start in Africa where Catman is being summoned by more or less. It starts where we're starting is in Africa. We're kind of skipping over a little bit, but basically Lex Luthor is assembling a team of supervillains to fight the good guys, basically trying to get a Legion of Doom together. He's calling it the
It's a
Society.
society.
It's called the Society. Okay.
Because we live in one.
Because we live in one, and they're basically everyone's joining up in part because they're all mad about Dr. Light and having their minds wiped, and again, come on, you've done so much worse, and why like
Darkseid's like, guys, there's certain unalienable rights.
That's really unethical.
Yeah.
He was unarmed, and you just mind wiped him. Men in Black is an atrocious film. But so we start, everyone's saying yes except for Catman. And Talia al Ghul is there, and so is Dr. Psycho.
Dr. Psycho's there. Calculator, everyone's favorite friend, Calculator.
Dr. Psycho is not a good character.
He's crazy.
I don't have any pictures of him, but he's not great. No, you're right.
No.
He's not. None of these characters were good characters except for Ragdoll.
Okay.
The
Ragdoll
only good
is
character.
very good.
Ragdoll's the only good part of this book. Spoiler alert. Didn't love this
Okay.
story.
Okay.
But
you hate DC. We get it.
let me ask some questions about Catman.
Yeah.
Okay,
let's do it.
He's like Batman in that he's a rich guy.
He
was a rich guy.
Is he?
There's a scene where he's holding a lot of money.
Yeah, he left a life of wealth and privilege to go live amongst the lions.
He had all
Right.
this privilege.
Yes.
He got chubby for a while and then
Yep.
decided that wasn't cool for him and then moved to
Yeah.
and then said this fucking line.
Yeah. Which I didn't pull. We talked about this before.
Thank you. We don't need to show
Yeah.
people, but I will tell you what he said. He said he was like, it's something like, and I decided to go to Africa,
The
which
continent.
is a huge continent.
Yeah.
The continent of Africa.
Mm-hmm.
where money's only good for burning, for starting a fire.
Yeah.
Do you know there's
A lot of people in Africa could use that.
there's
money,
a lot
probably.
of huge cities there. That pissed me off so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he clearly
It's
meant I'm going to go to the savannah or whatever, this kind of uninhabited area, I guess.
Right.
But that's not what he said.
I get that he wants to be cats, and there's cats in Africa.
There's bigger cats in Africa than there are.
But you could you could do this exact same story in the mountains in Colorado or something. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That'd be boring though, because you can't get lions there.
You could get mountain
they're
lions.
mountain lions.
That's not the same. They don't got the manes.
They don't have the manes.
You want the manes. If
That's
you're gonna be a
true.
lion guy, you gotta get that good
That's
mane.
true.
Most
and they
of his
also
lions don't
hang
have
out in
manes.
prides.
Yeah.
They're more
What?
solitary.
Yeah. You want the whole group. You want that group dynamic going. You know.
I saw a mountain lion at prom. We were at dinner and there was a mountain lion in the parking lot.
Did the mountain lion imbue you with a special power and you got ripped?
Yeah.
Wait, does he got lion powers?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They talk about that in the second
He
half
said
of
one
this.
marked him, but
Yeah.
I didn't know that gave him powers.
Yeah, more or less.
His spirit.
Yeah.
He got the lion spirit.
Did you see Catwoman with Halle Berry?
No.
Remember
I
how?
did.
Remember how that
She plays basketball.
No, I wish. But there's that part where she's revived, and it's this when she dies, and there's
Yeah.
a cat that walks on top of her, and then there's a CGI turn all around, and the cat breathes on her, and she's super powered now.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Okay.
That's what
Wow.
happened.
All right.
Basically.
Wow.
Yeah. Did Catwoman and Catman ever That's another thing. Batman's got to be upset, but also Catwoman's like, hey man, this is kind of my thing.
Yeah.
And now you get bigger cats. I have the little cats.
Yeah.
You're not making me look very good now.
I don't know if Catwoman has to come into play at some point in
It's
later
hey,
books.
Hey, this is my whole brand.
Hey, yeah. And we're not associated like Batman and
Yeah, there's not
Batwoman.
this connection. We're not the
Yeah.
cat family.
No.
How are people this whole time not screaming at him you're just Batman? You're just a worse
compliment.
Batman.
That's a compliment.
He's like a Batman villain too, right? They say
yeah.
he was brought on board specifically to his knowledge of the Batman Rogues Gallery,
right. Yeah.
and his ability to fight them.
Exactly.
Mm.
We should say that later he's recruited to another team. Basically, his cats are killed. We don't know by who at the time. It's suspected it's
It
the
looks
society.
like Deathstroke.
It looks like Deathstroke.
So confusing.
Well,
That was
it's
such a
comic,
confusing. So
so-
much of this book was so confusing.
They did skip over. You don't see the cats die.
None of it mattered, though. None of it mattered.
Everything matters.
No, it didn't matter.
It's
I
painting
don't
a
know why
tapestry.
any of this happened, and I don't know why any of it mattered.
Uh,
Except everyone wanted to get pregnant. That was the whole
Everyone want to get pregnant by Catman.
Yeah, everyone wants to fuck
Listen,
Catman for
if-
his seed.
if I had a womb and I was in this group, I'd be like, that he's pretty handsome. You know, I don't know.
mean,
got a lot of
sure.
abs.
Sure.
Got a lot of abs.
And how is
good
he?
genes.
How is he a villain? He seems like he's just a conservationist. Like he's a good
well, he
guy.
was previously like a villain for Batman and whatnot. He kind of reformed and just like went off to appropriate Africa for himself.
Cats and bats, natural enemies.
Yeah.
One rules the skies. One rules the land.
Yeah. So
That's the classic metaphor. It is.
Classic.
The team is sort of like recruited. The Secret Six, more or less, is sort of like anti the society.
Yeah.
They're
not
recruited
necessarily
by
like on the side of the Justice League or anything.
Yeah, they're still
just,
villains.
Yeah, they're just trying to
but
stop
they're
the
like
society.
slightly better villains.
Yeah.
And so there's like basically more or less a Suicide Squad made up of Catman.
Yep.
Well, there's also Deadshot, as we discussed.
Yep.
Cool.
Bullet Man.
Cheshire.
Cheshire, yep. She's Poison Lady.
What's her deal?
She's
poison.
She's got martial arts, and she also has like fingernails where like she could put poison on them.
She's kind of like
gets you a little
she's
bit.
like a Mortal Kombat character.
Yeah, she's a Mortal Kombat.
She's kind of like a Mortal Kombat character.
She's a little bit like Melina without the face situation.
Yeah.
Kind of a little a little bit. And then there's also
Parademon.
There's Parademon, who is a Parademon from Apocalypse.
Yep.
That's why he kind of looks like Darkseid.
But not
/
X-Men
Thanos.
Apocalypse.
Absolutely.
And he's not a Skrull.
No.
Even though, because that's not in this universe.
That's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
That's a whole other thing.
Whole
and a
other
better
can
thing.
of worms. Maybe. Yeah.
Marvel rules.
That's pretty good.
I like how you're just a Marvel jock.
Yeah.
Got him. So this team, we've also got Ragdoll. Ragdoll, as you mentioned, Ragdoll can
and
contort.
Scandal.
Let's go one by one here.
Right.
Ragdoll can contort himself into basically any position. He's like triple jointed.
Okay,
he had
Ragdoll
a bunch
made
of surgeries.
Yeah.
Ragdoll made this book art because Ragdoll was the only one that made me feel anything.
Uh-huh.
And I was disturbed. I
Yeah.
was intrigued.
Yeah.
Art.
Okay.
I love
Ragdoll is
Ragdoll.
cool.
Ragdoll's a cool character.
That's cool. It's so fucked up. It's so silly. Like
Yeah.
your joints, you've had surgeries that make your joints weird, and you need like juice to lube yourself up
Yeah.
so you don't your bones don't break through your skin.
Yeah.
And then you're talking like a fat Ragdoll talks like this, like a fancy man.
Well, it's got different text. I didn't read it like that. I
Oh,
guess.
did you read it,
I
Tristan?
kind of read it like a fop. You know, it was
Oh,
very
really?
foppish.
Yes, like fops talk like this. Hello.
You remember the fop sketch from SNL?
Yep.
I don't.
It was, they did it like 3 times, so don't worry.
Wow. Okay. Great. I'm just thinking of that scene in Always Sunny when they're all in.
It's just
naked
that.
outfits.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
that.
Okay. Good.
So it's like that.
But
Uh,
Ragdoll did it to be his dad.
Yeah.
You wanted
Dad
Ragdoll.
and his brother, I
Ragdoll
guess.
Senior.
Ragdoll Senior.
Ragdoll is technically Ragdoll Junior.
Right.
But Ragdoll Senior, I think, has like inherent powers. I want to say.
Yeah, Ragdoll had to like do this to himself.
Yeah.
Like he was kind of normal, and then he
Yeah.
was like, "Well, I want to be like Dad."
So creepy.
Yeah, it's weird. And he also
Yeah.
had his genitals removed. He was like, "I don't want to deal with that."
Yeah, he did
I
have
would
his
probably get in the
genitals
way.
removed.
Yeah, he's like,
You know,
"That's
if you're
gonna be a problem."
You're gonna contort. You know.
Yeah, I liked Ragdoll a lot because like he didn't really have like any weaknesses or desires
Yeah.
really, other than just like have a good time and like
Yeah,
buy
he just
fancy
wanted
things.
to be bendy.
Yeah.
Like there
And
wasn't
then-
really anything they could threaten him with either, other than like,
Mhm.
"I won't give you this juice."
Oh yeah. The stuff
Right.
that keeps his. They're all sort of like kept there by different methods.
Well, a lot of them are like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill your kids or
gonna-
your family."
And for Ragdoll, it's like I'm gonna give you enough of this serum that like makes your skin stay together.
Yeah,
And if you don't work for me, I'll stop giving it to you.
yeah. Where was he getting that before?
I don't know. Unclear.
I don't know.
Unclear. Maybe
Dwayne Reed.
maybe Mockingbird, the benefactor or boss or whatnot, was just bought up all the stock.
Ah, yeah.
Just
Yeah.
another part
Like
of
Elaine
this
in that episode of
flawless
Seinfeld.
story.
Mm-hmm. Which also includes Scandal Savage,
Yep.
who's the daughter of Vandal Savage, a longtime villain who's immortal. We don't learn that she's his daughter for part of the book, but it's revealed later. There's also some Catman sperm in there, as you do.
Yeah.
We'll get
Vandal
to that. We can
Savage
You
get to
should
that.
give that
Vengeance.
some context, I think.
No.
All right.
So
All
we're
right,
moving
we're gonna
on.
Move on.
We'll get to it. We'll get to
Again,
it.
So they're getting some scrapes.
They're getting
some
some scrapes.
and
They're
scrumbles.
fighting the weather wizard,
Yeah.
and like other like like D tier, like similarly on their level. Besides Deadshot, who I feel like is like a B tier villain.
I thought Deadshot was like a good an A tier. He's not like the Joker, who's like we can all agree the Joker is the pinnacle villain of the DC universe, right?
I do, yeah. I do feel like Deathstroke is like above.
Yeah,
Deadshot.
He's like the same thing, but like kind of cooler
and more evil.
Yeah.
He's got swords.
He's only got one eye.
Kind of looks like Deadpool, Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, Deathstroke.
Yeah.
And Deadshot.
Yeah.
Are different.
Yeah,
yes.
they shoot each other later in the book.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
They sure
both
did.
The gun people.
Yeah. And they just like stand there. They're the ultimate assassins in the world. They just go. Pew, pew, pew.
Yeah, you got me.
Oh, well,
you got me. You got
I
me.
didn't think of that.
Maybe you were less different than we thought.
So during their scrape, they get captured. They break out. That's a whole.
They get tortured alive.
They get tortured alive.
We learned that Parademon's into it because he had a grandma.
Mm-hmm. Granny.
Oh, no, that's Granny.
Granny Goodness.
Yeah.
Granny Goodness, who has got some kinky shit that she likes to torture people.
Oh yeah.
About.
I mean, she's
she an alien?
Yeah, she's from
the New Gods.
She's from Apocalypse.
Right.
Apocalypse is a planet, not X-Men Apocalypse.
Yeah, Apocalypse is
New Genesis.
APOKL.
Yeah.
OOLLIPS.
Sure.
There's gonna be a whole movie about this.
Yeah, New Gods is gonna be a movie.
Ava DuVernay.
Yep.
Is gonna do it.
That's correct.
There's rumors they're gonna do Oprah as Granny.
Oprah's Granny Goodness would be. Yeah,
that sounds
so good.
Cool.
And also Tom King, I think, is writing it. I
yeah.
want to say.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. But back to Earth. When they escape, Mockingbird is displeased because the Secret Six have been doing some digging, trying to figure out who Mockingbird is. There's like, hey, I'm gonna kill one of you because don't do this.
Yeah. Hey, don't look into me. I was very confused for a long time because I was like, wait, there's already a person named Mockingbird in this universe.
That's Marvel.
And then I was like, and I was like, oh no, I'm thinking of like Black Canary because in Marvel there's a Mockingbird.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, well,
Mockingbird is like
all
different.
the animals are taken. You can't name yourself after an animal anymore.
Well, like what's even more confusing is that like Mockingbird as like this like faceless persona has like shown up in other comics before, and it is different people secretly.
Yeah.
Like later it's Amanda Waller,
okay,
and later it's the Riddler, but like now it's like a different person. So they make a deal with and just say, hey, we're gonna go on a Suicide Squad run with our secret squad of suiciders. And they're like, fine.
This book did feel a little redundant like that. I was like, they could have just made this the Suicide Squad, probably.
It does feel like it is definitely, especially as it goes later, it is definitely a spiritual successor to like the John Ostrander run of that kind of stuff. A lot of the same characters come into play. I think Ostrander like does a Suicide Squad like redo with Blackest Night because they brought up all the old comics back and did like new numberings because it ended at like 71. They did a number 72 for it.
Okay.
So that it's all kind of like tied in there pretty tightly. And but they don't get to do their run because Cheshire has betrayed the group after doing it with Catman to explicitly have his baby.
Yeah, let's just.
You want to back up? You need you need a minute. What do you have?
Maud Lebowski.
What do you want to know?
I got a couple things to say about this.
Yeah. No.
Nope. Just like
it's a miracle of birth.
She's like, okay. First of all, so starting with their reason, like why they're all blackmailed to be there.
Yeah.
That's so fucking stupid. Like they're. For Deadshot, they're like, we're gonna blow up the block that your family lives on.
Sure.
It's like, just fucking move your family, man. Like move it.
He's probably gonna figure that out. Though.
Yeah.
And then, what's her name? Mystique, the Mortal Kombat one.
Melina.
No. The
Cheshire. It's Cheshire.
Cheshire. She not Mystique. Cheshire wants to fuck Catman for his seed.
Yeah.
Yuck. And then
you keep saying seed, which is like worse.
Yeah.
He's not for his baby, but for his seed.
And then afterwards, she's like, "This is backup in case my daughter dies because I'll just have another one."
That's how kids work.
I guess I'm not a parent myself, So I don't know.
You don't form any attachment to them at all.
Right?
Yeah.
They're
Don't worry.
just disposable. We'll just get another one. Sophie's choice, it was easy. She had 2. One,
yeah, it's like
take
the good,
it.
It's like the good son. You know, you can throw Macaulay Culkin off the cliff
bridge.
and then keep Elijah Wood.
Yeah.
Oh.
He was better.
It's a net gain.
Yeah, he
Oh.
just throw shit off the bridge. Trying to make
Yeah.
those cars crash.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy how many people wanted Catman's seed in this.
It was
He's-
2. It was 2.
I will
He's-
never
he's
stop
pretty
saying
handsome.
Catman's seed.
He's pretty handsome, you know?
He's very handsome. I hope his time in Africa taught him more about Africa
Mm-hmm.
and that there's a lot of countries
Apparently,
there.
like
Doesn't seem to have.
at the
No.
end of the first chapter, they were like, "Hey, if you do all these stuff for us, then you all rule the world.
Oh, yeah,
You'll
you
each
get
get
a
a continent.
continent."
You'll each get a continent."
Yeah,
And
what?
and I'm just like, Catman won't rule Africa. That's not gonna happen.
Also, you can't rule a continent. You know how complicated that would be? None of these people want administrative duties.
I believe
It's a lot of bureaucracy.
I do believe Parademon could rule Australia.
Scandal could rule. She had
Sure.
she like put together some
Yeah.
stock portfolios.
Mhm.
She seemed like she really has a good head on her shoulders.
Mhm.
It didn't seem
She's
really
very
like fair
qualified.
distribution. You know, like someone gets Asia, someone else gets Australia. That's not fair. That's not a good deal.
Sure.
Asia has way more stuff going on.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah.
It's
No,
just-
I mean
there's
just
more stuff.
geographically
Come
speaking.
on.
No,
Let's
I
be
get
a
it.
little more even here. It's like, Risk or something.
You know, they're all doled out the way they are.
I guess.
And
They
it's
didn't
never
really come
it's never
back.
really addressed.
Yeah, they're like,
it's never addressed
Hey,
again.
can we
Who
have
got
those
Europe?
continents?
Was it Ragdoll got Europe?
I think Ragdoll got Europe. That makes sense.
fanciest continent
It is a very fancy continent.
Yeah, exactly.
I've seen pictures. It looks very fancy.
So she does it with Catman, then says, "P.S. I'm gonna have your baby, Maud Lebowski."
Yeah, she was like,
That's,
I
like, really-
did it for the baby.
Really nailing that timing too in your
Yeah.
cycle. Like you don't have a huge window there.
Yeah.
So
It's like,
it's
yeah.
pretty impressive. She just knows instantly. Like I got it.
I mean, that's one of her superpowers, so we don't know about.
Oh, maybe.
Super
be.
contraception power.
Yeah, she got-
Is this incredibly fertile.
Yeah, exactly. She's got those, needles things. She could probably just like do something. I don't know. Moving on. It's medication or something. She could.
All right,
Uh-huh.
maybe.
She could do. I don't know.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, like John and Kate +8.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
She's part of Quiverful.
What?
Let's just move on.
John and
I
Kate
regret-
+6.
I regret saying that word. We should just
Quiverful.
don't
Oh,
say it
no.
a third time. You'll summon.
What's Quiverful?
Is this like blue waffle where I'm not supposed to Google it?
I mean,
What's blue waffle?
Oh,
Are
we
you
got some
serious?
Googling to do later. We got some Googling to do.
no.
Okay. I'll
No.
Google.
Probably don't. Do
I
it.
can't believe we're not even very far into this book.
Ugh.
Okay,
Oh, God.
so
We should get through it. So Cheshire betrays the group. She summons all the villains to where they are.
Why? Why does she betray them?
because why? These 6, they're not gonna win anything.
Yeah.
So like, I'm gonna side with the society because they're gonna win.
That seems right.
Yeah.
Because
They-
there's like
smart money.
300 villains
Mhm.
versus 6 villains.
Mhm.
You're not gonna win.
Exactly, and like they got the better villains.
Yeah.
like Weather
Yeah.
Wizard alone, like he's kind of a joke, but
But-
like he can control the weather.
She's
That's
also
pretty good.
immediately shot by Deathstroke, right?
And he's like,
But
we don't want
lives.
traitors. So
Yeah.
But
screw
lives.
you.
She lives,
does live.
and we see her later to reveal
Because
that
no
she's
one
alive.
actually dies in comics. So.
Well, Parademon dies. I don't know if he's back
I'm
ever.
sure Parademon.
Parademon,
comes
like,
back.
in the
well, I guess
big
you can just
battle-
replace him with another Parademon.
Yeah, in the big battle, Parademon takes out a suicide vest of mother boxes and just blows it up, which
Yeah.
should be way more explode. It should blow up the entire
Yeah, I
city.
thought mother
area.
boxes were a lot more powerful
Yeah.
than that.
I don't know. They seemed a little bit.
He blows it up, but only his limbs blow up.
Yeah.
He's
pretty
fine.
okay. He does a good job.
Well,
of
he
getting out
does
of it.
die.
Yeah.
Why did he like Ragdoll so much?
They just kind of got a thing.
There was no humor on Apocalypse.
Yeah.
And he thought Ragdoll was a clown,
Mhm.
but it was very silly the way he contorted himself.
I mean, it
And he
is
was-
very silly, yes.
And he was like, "This is funny. This is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life because I've never seen anything resembling humor before."
Okay.
And so he loved that so much. He was like, "That's why he was like, protect the clown." And like Ragdoll was like, "I'm not a clown." But all right."
It's funny that you say there's no humor on that planet because the Granny Goodness's name is an ironic. She's ironically named because
That's
she's
true.
not
it's like,
good. She's a
It's like when a
torturer.
little person's name like tall guy or something.
or Andre the Giant is
Classic
called.
name,
Tall guy.
tall guy.
Andre the Giant's called
I'm trying to
Tiny.
Tiny.
fine.
That's probably a better
I think
better
Example?
a
one.
little bit.
Yeah.
But but yeah, that's the way it is. It's sort of like, imagine if you'd never seen a TV show before and you saw an episode of King of Queens. You'd be like, this is the greatest show I've ever seen in my life.
I don't know about that.
King of Queens gets a bad rap. It's not that bad.
I watched
Jerry
episodes on
Stiller
airplane.
not doing his best work. The Friends also not good. But the main core relationship of King of Queens, I'm gonna say not bad.
That can't possibly be true.
Kevin James,
Already,
not bad. Leah Remini broke out of Scientology, pretty good.
yes, she is
Gotta
a
respect
person I respect.
Yeah,
Do you
I'm not
remember?
saying you have to respect Kevin James.
Do you
I'm saying you have to. I'm saying you have to respect Kevin James. That's what everyone needs to respect. Kevin James.
Have I pitched you guys my Paul Blart 3?
What's it?
It's his daughter Sue Blart,
Okay.
and the tagline is "This Blart farts."
Okay, I see. I'm sold.
As long as Leah Remini is the mom.
Yep.
And she would be. They killed his wife in that new show he had just to bring in Leah Remini. They're like,
Oh,
we want just the old people back. So
guys, this comic was so bad that we're now talking about King of Queens.
I don't think it was bad. I
I
think it does have
Yeah,
a lot of
major
issues.
plot events happened because 2 of the women wanted babies from Catman.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. But it was very smart that Cheshire did that, because later when Catman's gonna kill her, she's like, "I got your baby," and he's like, "Oh, you're right, you got my baby."
Oh my
you
god,
got it.
yeah.
There you go.
Smart.
Checkmate.
All right, you got me. I quit the show.
So,
Bye.
the Secret Six, they lose Cheshire and Parademon.
Yep.
And so at the start of the next series, we're skipping over.
Well, they reveal that Mockingbird is actually real Lex Luthor, and the Lex Luthor working at the Society was actually fake Lex Luthor.
Bum,
Alec-
bum,
I want to say it's like Alexander Luthor from Earth
Yes.
3.
You know, Lex is probably also short for Alexander.
Mm-hmm.
They got the
That's
same
a-
name.
that's-
Yeah. Nobody else goes
Good
by Lex
point.
in the history of time, like by whose name is Alexander. Nobody goes by Lex.
Probably not.
I know an
Lex the
Alexandra
Great.
who goes by Lex.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Was it with 2 X's like the TV show?
No.
What
Missed
TV
opportunity.
show? Was it
The
on after
TV
King of Queens?
The TV show Lex on the Sci-Fi Channel, and I'm
We're just
sure
talking
like
about all this great
syndicated.
TV today.
Yeah, we're talking about Lex instead of Secret Six. But
there's
who does join the team is Knockout, who is Scandal's girlfriend. She
Was
is
a traitor on the Society side.
Yeah, they
Yes.
each had a traitor who wore green.
interesting.
They had a
Mm.
swapped.
Well,
Mm.
Parademon
swap
wasn't
there.
Yeah.
Mm.
Interesting.
I
Yeah.
thought Knockout for most of the comic was Poison Ivy, and then she just wears a green unitard.
She's like
Huge,
Poison
and
Ivy
she-
mixed with Medusa. 'Cause She's
Well, I
got
thought she
Yeah,
got kind of
hair
jacked.
and-
I just
Yeah.
thought Poison Ivy just got kind of jacked. Or
But
something.
she's an
reasons.
alien. She's also from Apocalypse.
Yeah, correct. So
Okay.
she's like super strong, regenerative powers, etc., which comes in handy when she gets blown up
She gets super
by
blown up, yeah.
is it? I think was it Lex or the Vandal Savage who ended up doing
It was
that?
Vandal Savage who was
Yeah.
doing that.
Uh,
Because like in the Society's the villain of the first 6 issues, and then Vandal Savage is the villain in the following 6
Yeah.
issues.
Because he wants not a baby, he wants a grandbaby.
He wants a
Mhm.
grandbaby, and
That's his whole thing.
he wants the grandbaby to murder him
Mhm.
and take over his empire.
yeah.
But doesn't Scandal already have a child? No?
I don't think so.
No,
Oh, okay.
Scandal didn't have a child.
Uh,
Cheshire did.
Oh, okay. Cheshire had the child, right?
Yeah,
right,
Cheshire
right,
had
right, right.
another child.
I did like Scandal's battle costume. Was
Yeah.
very
Yeah,
cool.
that was cool. Like for a while, like she was just in a suit and like not participating in the battles.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why is this person here?
Yeah.
I'm not really getting the benefit they're bringing to the team, other than like kind of
Right.
team leader and project management.
Yes,
Which
she's
is like
project
important.
manager.
It's very important. To have
She does
project
get like a
management.
Mortal Kombat mask and like a little thing.
Yeah.
And then
going on.
then she's like, okay, well, I'm gonna fight in this battle, and she has like a cool blade.
Mhm.
What are her
and
blades called? The Solace blades or something?
Yeah.
Something cool.
That
Yeah.
sounds cool.
Yeah.
It's freaking cool.
Yeah.
So we have 5 on the team so far, and Mad
But
Hatter.
Tristan, it's called Secret 6. What are they gonna do?
I was
Well,
in
you
the
already said
middle.
it, though,
Yeah,
so-
Why
I
did
already
they
said
get
it.
Mad Hatter?
He
Because
kind
they
of
needed
just joins up.
they needed someone who could like block Dr. Psycho's like psychic energy, And so they needed someone with psychic powers.
Mhm.
And so like, well, why not Mad Hatter? No one's using him right now.
Okay.
Yeah, he's available.
He
like
seems
in the wider
like
No
DC
one
universe.
wants to hang out with that guy. So
the worst choice for the team.
I was so excited to see him. He is a bad organizational choice, though.
I hated how many times this team like fought amongst themselves, and all of the drama was so manufactured. Like, you guys are this is just about you guys being shitty roommates, basically. And like,
yeah, that's the best. They're villains. They're awful people.
Yeah, they have like bad personalities.
And they have
shouldn't be
awful,
They're
hanging
not
out.
terrible
really, though.
squabbles.
none of them have
Catman's like the
personalities.
least villainous.
Catman's just a good like conservationist.
He's like kind of a normal. They kind of paint him through most of the comic, other than the Africa stuff, as just kind of like the standard leader character.
Yeah.
He's like the Leonardo.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't really seem that villainous, but all the other characters, like, yeah, I can see like Deadshot's kind of a piece of shit.
He's like a mercenary.
Yeah.
I get that.
He's rough around the edges.
Scandal seems like
She seemed pretty
Cool.
nice. Yeah, she seemed pretty
In
chill.
general.
yeah.
Except for like she really enjoys when Knockout does messed up things.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
So it seems kind of out of character for her all of a sudden to be like really into like sadism, I guess.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
That's a weird like turn.
Have we reached the part yet where they fuck? Where Knockout fucks Deadshot?
I think that's a little bit later.
whatever.
That's right before the final battle. Because she
Why?
leaves and then comes back. Because she doesn't think, because Knockout comes from Apocalypse and it's like, fucking is like whatever. It's like doesn't mean anything.
Okay.
And then Deadshot is a piece of shit. And he's just like, hey, she was down to clown.
And
so.
then Catman's fucking them too, or he just shows up naked?
No, he's just naked.
Yeah.
Cool.
Does
He's
everyone-
whatever.
There was like a nice panel where like everyone was naked on screen.
Yeah.
I was like, what is
Knockout was
this,
crying.
ElfQuest?
I know. No, their bodies didn't
If only.
look like that.
If only.
Uh,
So,
But-
but we were skipping over a little bit where, as you mentioned earlier, Catman and Cheshire meet back up because they want to kill Cheshire, but she has the baby, so like, well, we won't, and that's like 3 pages
I
basically.
like she had a nursery.
Well, yeah, you gotta take care. You gotta take care
like
of
in
her.
her villain lair, and just
Yeah.
like, here's the nursery. It's
Yeah.
like right near the front door too. It's like, well, that's not where you put the nursery. Someone rings the doorbell, the baby's up.
I mean,
Not
they
great.
have like the they have like the lava pools in the back,
Yeah,
the
like this
dungeons,
isn't.
and,
You
like,
haven't baby
where can you
proofed this
put this?
villain lair.
Very hard to baby-proof a villain
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
What with all the spikes and the sharks with the
Mhm.
lasers on their
Her
heads.
fingers are all poisonous or whatever. Not
Yeah,
great.
exactly. Imagine like picking up the baby.
Oh, I killed the baby.
Another
Ah.
one.
Another one.
I'll
Good
just- I'll
thing I
bring
didn't
up
care
Catman.
about this one.
Catman.
Yeah. But no,
Hey,
she's got to wait like
Catman.
another like week or so.
Oh,
Like, well, it's not gonna work now.
Well, yes, I gotta go work now. I have to wait till I'm scheduled, and
Yeah.
then have sex exactly once,
Yeah.
and have one baby per time,
That's
which
how it
is
works.
One
is how-
baby per time.
That's how it works. And I don't understand. I guess while Knockout is like sort of like recovering, like Scandal has like these like visions of her father, Vandal Savage, and his plan to like, as we talked about, like produce an heir, like a grandson to like
He's
destroy him.
psychically
Linked.
fucking with her.
Yeah.
Being
His
like,
pow-
you need to fuck your friend.
Yeah,
She's like, no,
specifically
he's my
Catman.
friend.
He's proven himself to be fertile, so go have
Yes.
sex with him.
Virile Catman.
Yeah.
It must be the lion juice that he
They should have.
ingested.
He should have made her have sex with Mad Hatter. I think
hmm
personally.
Ugh.
It is.
Ugh.
It
The
is.
guy-
short-
you mean the guy who just wears his hat and likes to lie in his own filth?
Yes, I loved Mad Hatter
That's
so
cool.
much. I was so excited to see him because it was like a character I recognized. Like, oh, Mad Hatter, cool. That's weird. That's like a weird choice.
It's a weird pull.
And then the characterization of him
There's
as
a
just-
hat junkie.
just this insane perverted hat junkie who just like
He made like a better version of heroin but just
a
in his
thousand
hat.
times better. Yeah, his hat. Like he realized, like, oh, if I'm hypnotizing other people with my hats, why not just hypnotize myself and make myself just super happy
And
all
he
the
just
time?
and he just turns the dial
Just
on there.
and then
Just cranks it.
just cranks it all the way up, and it's very funny. This just weird little man.
Yeah.
I
And
love it.
It's good.
they only brought him on to be set him up to be a villain.
Mhm.
They're
Well,
other villain.
just to counteract Dr. Psycho.
And-
Like
and
that
it-
comes into play where Dr.
Right.
Psycho's like
Yeah.
able to start messing with their
they
minds.
mess with it messes with Ragdoll because while Mad Hatter is like on the hat sauce as it were, he's unable to like block the psychic impression of Dr. Psycho, who makes Ragdoll attack everyone on a helicopter.
Yeah, knock them all to the ground.
Yeah.
Because Dr. Psycho got to Ragdoll in the hospital, who's
Mhm.
in the hospital a lot in this book.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Which I know he's
That's the deal.
kind of into that.
That's the deal, yeah.
Um,
Loves
And then
surgeries.
his skin is so frail that his hand like kind of rips off during the battle.
Yeah.
It's like kind of messed up
I
and
don't
like
like
gross,
that.
you know?
Yeah.
No?
I don't like that at all.
No.
And
But
they meet the
again, it
Doom
made me
Patrol.
feel something. So.
They meet the Doom Patrol and we finally see what Mad Hatter can do, which is apparently like a lot. He's like overpowered. He
Yeah.
basically he just like points at everyone and just like, you're gonna do this. Giant woman, you're gonna eat your son.
Yeah.
And all this other stuff happens, and then they have to put him out of commission like a lot. He has to be out of commission with the hat. He has to be out
Yeah.
of commission because Cheshire stabs him in the back later
Yeah.
when they're about
Mhm.
to attack everyone. And it's
I love how he's this completely unreliable,
Yeah.
like weird little man
Yeah.
who has a lot of power, but like the odds of him actually using it to help you
yeah,
are
very
very,
little.
slim.
Very little. Yeah, he's got to roll like a perfect 20.
You gotta get a nat 20.
Yeah, you gotta get a nat
If you
20
want him
for
to
him
help.
to.
Or
Otherwise,
like a
he's
for
hat
him to
20.
Ah,
Mm.
Wowee.
Everybody?
everybody
good.
agrees. It's great.
We have to.
It's great though that also they started with Cheshire,
Yeah.
who's like, I only know the word from Cheshire Cat,
Yeah.
and there's like unconnected to Mad Hatter, I
Right.
guess, completely.
Yeah.
There's
Mhm.
two unrelated, Alice in Wonderland characters, I
Yeah.
guess.
Well, they do have that dream sequence where after he's stabbed, Mad Hatter like
Yeah, he sees Wonderland.
he sees Cheshire. Like, yeah, he sees Wonderland for a while. We didn't pull that footage, but that was a nice little moment.
It was great. I love Mad Hatter.
There's also Tweedledee and Tweedledum are in this society, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The Tweedles.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
wonder
there's
if
also
more-
Black Alice who comes into play in later books as well. Not
Oh,
related.
yeah.
There is a white rabbit in Marvel. I'm not sure if there's
Right.
one in DC.
Hmm.
There is an Alice character, villain of Batwoman.
Mm.
Batwoman's sister, I think. It's a whole deal.
Oh.
Okay.
Anyway, long story short, they win more or
Yeah.
less.
Yeah.
And what happens at the end is like Mad Hatter is about to betray everyone, but he decides not to because he has friends.
Well, he's gonna betray Scandal because she slapped his hat earlier.
Yeah, because Scandal was like, "Hey, don't make that woman eat her son.
Yeah,
That's
slapped.
messed up."
And she knocked his hat off, and he
And-
was like, he's been holding on to this grudge.
Yeah, the hold for several issues now, but he decides to hold back, and you have this nice little arc for him, and then Ragdoll just like pushes him off a cliff
He's like,
because
there's not room for two dandies.
Yeah, we can't have two
That
weirdos.
was the best.
That was very funny. It's like,
Like
oh, they're
fan-
actually they're gonna be friends.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
wholesome.
What do
No.
you call him? A fancy freak or something?
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then
something
he
like
pushed
that.
him. That was the best part of the comic.
That
Yeah.
was very funny.
Yeah.
And there's a great panel of like him being pushed. It's just like the shadows or the silhouettes,
Mhm.
and it's Mad Hatter just like arms like all askew like this, going, "Ah," but it's like very very like still kind of like his
Mhm.
arms aren't flailing; they're just all pointed directly
Sure.
out. It's very funny. It's very
Yeah.
cartoonish.
Yeah, that's a good moment. Speaking of good moments, that about wraps up our book breakdown. But now we should move on to our panel picks. Every week we like to choose our favorite moments, sequels, panels from the book. I chose
Tristan, what's yours?
a great moment when early in the book when they were breaking out of torture. Catman like goes over to the evil Nazi man. Is it Uberman? What's his
Oh.
name?
He's just got the Nazi symbol.
He's
and
got the
he's
Nazi symbol.
green.
He's Aryan, yeah. And they basically like
They just
he
keep calling
takes
him
he
Nazi.
takes all the pain amplifiers that they've been injecting him with, and he just like sticks it in his eyeballs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that was good.
that was very good. And there's just a panel of him just like eyes wide open with like 70 needles just like in his eyes. And he's just like, And I thought it was interesting later. It was kind of like prescient almost. At that one point, it seems that the Nazi guy dies. And then he just comes back later, and Black Adam's like, "Hey, I thought you died." And he's like, you can't kill Nazis. We're an idea. You can't kill an idea like us so easily."
Yeah.
And I'm just like, wow,
All right.
that's very 2019, I guess.
Yeah, all right.
Very interesting. Andrew,
cool.
what was your panel pick?
Okay. I loved Mad Hatter. Everything about Mad Hatter struck me as the funniest thing, just because we'd been mostly with these like very kind of serious characters through a lot of the book, and Ragdoll, but also Ragdoll's kind of out of commission a lot, and so then they introduced Mad Hatter, this just weird little man who speaks in little rhymes and weird sayings, and they're all like hanging out at the house at one point, and like I wonder what like Mad Hatter's up to. He's just standing naked in a room, surrounded by hats, and he just cranks up the pleasure dial, and it kind of looks like he's fucking one of his hats.
He was fucking the hat.
It looks like he was fucking one of the hats.
Yeah.
And
who knows what's inside that hat?
And the idea that this little man is just having sex with a hat.
It's
like next to.
Is that like a fleshlight there? Or?
I don't know. It's kind of like a Mountie cap, it looked like.
Okay.
Kind of. But just like the idea that there's this weird little man having sex with hats next to these like how dare you like have sex with my girlfriend, like this big dramatic thing happening outside, this weird little man just fucking his hats. I thought it was great. I want to read like a whole Mad Hatter book now. Does anyone do Mad Hatter books? Is there like a Mad Hatter solo run?
I think Through the Looking Glass.
God damn it,
Lewis Carroll.
No, that's not what I mean.
Okay, Carolyn, what was your panel pick?
My panel pick was a scene in the kitchen where Deadshot and I keep wanting to say Deadpool, where Deadshot and Catman are trying to make some eggs.
Yeah.
Get into a fight. And the raw sexuality of this panel.
They're so buff.
I chose it because they're at each other's throats, but they want to be in each other's throats. If you know what I mean?
Wow.
Whoa.
It would have been nice if Catman would have impregnated Deadshot, I think.
Yeah.
Get him impreg, you know?
They both just needed a hat each. You know, to work it
They
out.
need a hat.
That's true.
They need a hat. Relieve some tension. They're just so like, two men just on each other. It's hot. It was erotic.
It definitely reminded me of that scene in Predator where Carl Weathers and Arnold Schwarzenegger see each other. You son of a bitch. And they just hold hands for a minute and you see their glistening bodies. Join as one.
Rippling muscles. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
And then they have sex and they get pregnant. Is that what happened?
Did you? I didn't see that part of the movie.
It's called.
It's in the director's cut.
Yeah.
It's in Pregnator. There we go.
Nice.
I did it, everyone.
Nice.
That wraps up our time today. Carolyn, I feel like I know how you feel about this book. Would you be at all interested? What would have to get you interested in reading the next volume of this?
Money.
Elves.
Yeah. If you paid me, or if it was if it was like the origin story of Ragdoll,
okay,
I would maybe read it. Or if it was like a supplemental version of this explaining why anything happened, where anything happened, how long anything happened for. The place and the timing of this book were crazy to me. I just was like, when is any of this happening? They're jumping around. It was crazy. I would not recommend this book unless you're like a huge fan of one of these characters and have to read all of their stuff. Scandal was cool. Ragdoll was cool. Mad Hatter was like was cool, was funny on his own, but like
I wouldn't say cool, but he was a very entertaining presence.
He's a hat fucker, so I don't know. But no.
Okay.
So you'd have to pay me.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
How much? Just ballpark.
$100.
$100. Okay. All right. Andrew, how much money?
I'm kind of I liked it mostly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I understand Carolyn's criticisms are all like very on point.
Sure.
But I have a high tolerance for like weird bullshit like that in comics. And I just like villains.
Sure.
I would obviously I'm a little disappointed, honestly. Like I love the ending with Mad Hatter getting just shoved off the ledge, but I do want to see more Mad Hatter. So I'm curious, does he become a recurring villain for the 6? I'd love to see that. I'd like to see more characters like him and Ragdoll make out like the lineup of the team.
Sure.
Probably a lot less of like Deadshot and Catman, who are kind of dull. I want to see weird villains. I want a team of just like weird, dumb, unreliable villains.
Sure.
Mostly. But this had a lot of that, and that was fun.
This well, I've the reason I picked this is because I read all of them.
You read all of them?
Well, for this main gut, like after these
Oh.
2 issues, it's another. After these 2 volumes, there's about 6 or 7 books worth after this. And
Is there more Mad Hatter?
There's more Mad Hatter. Mad Hatter comes
I'm
back.
Sold.
Bane is on the team. Bane's relationship with Scandal is really cool. They have like a brother-sister thing going on.
Kind
That's
of like The Dark Knight
interesting.
Rises.
Yes, exactly. And there's the whole first arc
seen
is about
movies.
like them trying to get a get out of hell free card. That's the MacGuffin of the book, and they use that in interesting.
Do they have like a friend in
ways.
hell, or are they worried they're gonna go to hell?
I mean,
You got a friend in hell.
Oh, that's good.
You got a friend in hell.
You got to do the voice though. Like, you got a friend in hell.
Oh wow, that's
You know the
good.
voice?
That's good.
I can't remember that guy's name, but
what-
that's how he
It
sounds.
sounds like Tom Waits
Yeah.
singing
Yeah.
Toy Story.
No, you guys know who it is.
I do.
It's that
It's
guy.
Randy Newman,
Randy Newman.
Parademon.
and that was not Randy Newman.
Randy
You
Parademon.
got a
That was-
friend in
Okay.
You know.
Okay. Wow.
Tristan, what do you think? So you liked it?
I mean, yeah, I liked it. I do, reading it like 10 years after I first read it, I do see a lot of the issues that Carolyn writes. I do think it gets better. I think the second book is better.
It
I think
gets
that-
better.
Maybe not equivalent to the original meaning of that phrase. I do think that it ends on a really kind of a twisty note with the Ragdoll and Mad Hatter stuff. I do now, remembering that like where it goes from here, I kind of want to go back, at least read the first volume and see what happens there. I am interested into just to read it with someone maybe with a little bit more discerning taste and with just a broader view of the world and maybe how people like Catman should maybe recognize what they're doing is a little weird, I guess.
Yeah.
With that character.
Just change the character.
Yeah.
Again, the easy fix for Catman and the whole Africa thing is just change it to mountain lions, in America somewhere. Like he doesn't have to be king of Africa.
Or just get some cats, man.
Yeah.
Get some cats. Go
Just
to
get-
the ASPCA.
What What
Yeah.
if he was Catman and he was literally like a cat lady?
Yeah, he just had a bunch of
stereotypical cat
cats that
lady,
he
and
hung out with,
He
you
just
know?
hangs out with a bunch of cats. He smells like piss all the time. It's like truly awful, and that's why he's a
Yeah.
villain.
Yeah.
It's like he's like
your
an awful
mom makes you
neighbor.
go over there and do chores sometimes. It's like, ugh.
That's terrible.
You gotta be nice. They're our neighbors.
It's-
I'll mow your lawn.
Did you do this?
Yes. They didn't mow their lawn for like the whole summer, man. I was like, you got to go over there and mow their lawn. I'm like, they haven't mowed it all summer. And there's probably cat shit everywhere.
Mhm.
Like, do it anyways. And it took forever. And at the end, the old person made me a bowl. They gave me a bowl, like a wooden bowl,
An empty bowl.
a wooden bowl that they made. That also couldn't have food in it because of whatever the finishing was. Couldn't have food
It was
in
a
it.
decorative bowl.
It was a decorative bowl for a child. Anyways,
Like every child's favorite toy.
it was very upsetting.
Decorative
I was so
bowl.
upset. And then they explained to me the bowl making process
Uh-huh.
for like an hour. It was the worst day of my life.
Oh God.
That was the worst thing that's ever happened to me. Ever.
Wow.
So I led a hard life.
Yeah,
as you can tell.
that sounds really tough for you.
Yeah.
Thank you for telling us
And I had
your
to
story.
bag the backyard. You don't always have to bag it, but I had to bag it. And like it was so long. It took forever. No good.
Do you have any? You finished? We're good.
I might have more bowl stories.
No. Okay. I think that'll about do it. Thank you for joining us, and thank you at home for joining us as well. Next week we'll be reading Batman Endgame. That's the Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo run, Volume 7, I think it is. But until then, we will see you all in the funny papers. Hey everyone, if you like this, be sure to check out Dropout.tv. It's by far the best way to support Dorkly.
You can see this show a week early, as well as other Dorkly shows like Today in Nerd History and Table Pop.
There's tons of exclusive shows there. Shows like Dimension 20, shows like Paranoia, shows like Troopers. And you can see them all for a week for free with a week free trial at Dropout.tv when you go there and sign up right now.
Please do that.